Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, Sports Edition. Typically, we do this on Wednesday nights, but we're here tonight. That's right, Saturday night for the Ring 6 pre-fight. That's right, the Ring 6 pre-fight. We got a big card that's going on right now. If you've watched, we already had two boxing matches go through. The first one being Zayed Alphamu and Kevin Castillo, and also a replacement that was supposed to be Carlos Adames and Austin Ammo Williams. But before we get into more of that, let's go ahead and do our introduction like we normally know how we do. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, Sports Edition. And if this is your first time joining the show, gotta let you know, man, we are a Cultural Variety Podcast show that appears 3 times a week. That's right, 3 times a week. We appear alternate nights on Sunday and Mondays, which we call Cultural Studies Night. Wednesdays, we are strictly sports, but we don't care about who won or lost an event. We like to deal with the different intricacies that goes on behind the scenes in the world of sports. And then on Friday, Saturday, alternate weekends, we like to let our hair down. We like to get into the grown and sexy show. No, it's not no sexual type show, but what we mean by the grown folk social hour is what we call it. And what that is we just get together, we let our hair down, and we just, have humor, 5-10 question Q&A. And we like to just enjoy ourselves like if we're at the lounge or at a bar. So that's what we do here at Coffee Talk Podcast. And I just want to say this. I'm happy to have you on tonight. This is the pre-fight, Ring 6, tonight on Dazzle. The fight is at Madison Square Garden. You can check it out now if you got Dazzle channel. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and check out that fight. So let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We are here. If this is your first time tuning in, we never start our show without first giving you the flavor as well as the wise words. So let's go ahead and do the flavor and the wise words. Can I get a drum roll, please? Wait, what? I gotta do that. Just joking. All right, so check it. Today's wise words. We always do on this show. Today's wise words has to deal with boxing. Absolutely, because this is the pre-fight special. But today's wise words comes from a man that was born October 19th, 1962, from Atmore, Alabama. This dude, one of the greatest of all time, definitely in my top 3, maybe, top 3, no lower than 5. Greatest heavyweight champions of all time. And we'll talk a little bit about his accomplishments. But this guy goes by the name of Evander Holyfield. Let's go ahead and talk about his wise words, shall we? All right, so Evander's wise words is this. A champion shows you who he is by what he does. I'll say that again. A champion shows who he is by what he does. Those are the wise words of Evander Holyfield. Now, quickly, just speaking about Evander Holyfield, again, one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. You know what I mean? Some of his accomplishments was he was the first undisputed champion as a cruiserweight and as a heavyweight. Big props to that. You know what I mean? The first undisputed champ as a cruiserweight and as a heavyweight. Did I say welterweight earlier? I can't hear myself. So if I mispronounce a word or say it wrong, I'm going to quickly follow up and correct myself. So just bear with me. But yeah, Evander Holyfield is the first undisputed champ as a cruiserweight and a heavyweight. Also, as one of his accomplishments, he is a 4-time heavyweight champion of the world. 4-time heavyweight champion of the world. And his last accomplishment, which is just speaking about some of his notable victories throughout his career, he had a nice trilogy. Am I saying that right, y'all? A trilogy with Riddick Bowe. And if some of you young kids don't know who Riddick Bowe is, or the golden years of boxing, I would recommend that you check out all 3 of those fights of Evander Holyfield with Riddick Bowe, man. Those classics. Would you know that a dude on a parachute actually landed in the ring? I'm not kidding. Check out Evander Holyfield with Riddick Bowe. Another one of his notable victories amongst his career was against another one of my favorite fighters. We used to call him the Eastern Assassin, and that is Larry Holmes, another great champion. He also, Evander Holyfield also beat George Foreman. Great fight. I remember I was in Atlanta that night during that fight, man. We was at the hotel watching the fight, man. It was a great fight. George Foreman, may you rest in power, man. You know what I mean? He was a great champion. And in the last notable victory of Evander Holyfield, he beat Mike Tyson twice, y'all. That's right. He beat Mike Tyson twice, man. And what's interesting about it is that back in that time, I can reflect. Going back in that time, I remember even at the height of where Mike Tyson was and everybody was afraid of him, and he was just dominating at the top of the sport. I knew that Evander Holyfield would beat Mike Tyson. I did. You know, hey man, it's the eye test, man. And that doesn't take nothing away from Iron Mike Tyson. You know what I'm talking about? But at that particular time, I just felt like Holyfield was a better overall boxer. You know what I mean? So that's more reasons why I chose Evander Holyfield and knew that Evander Holyfield would beat Tyson that night. So the wise words for the day, again, is by no other than Evander Holyfield, 4-time champion, first man to be undisputed champ at cruiserweight and heavyweight. And his wise words was, a champion shows who he is by what he does. Evander Holyfield. All right. Now, before we begin the show, we got one more, and that's you got to give the flavor. You know what it is. You got to get the flavor when you come to Coffee Talk Podcast. So we going to definitely give you the flavor. You heard me? No doubt. So tonight's flavor is this. While you're enjoying yourself, while you are got your feet kicked up, everybody situated in the house is peaceful. You know what I mean? You might be smoking on some Zaza, whatever you're doing, enjoying yourself. Man, just make sure you're having a good time and make sure that you know that we appreciate you because you're tuning in here to Coffee Talk Podcast while you're getting ready to watch the main fights tonight. All right, so tonight's flavor is something simple. It's a nice glass of wine. That's right, a nice glass of wine. I got my cup right here, but it is filled up with some pink Moscato. I can't name the family brand because I don't have a sponsorship with them as of right now. But yes, indeed, I'm drinking on some pink Moscato. And so when we're speaking about wine, I want to go ahead, like I always do when we give you the flavor on the show, is give you the benefits. So tonight's benefits is going to be about wine. So what are 3 benefits of wine? That's tonight's flavor. I'll go ahead and give them to you. The three benefits of wine is this. Wine improves the cardiovascular. It definitely improves cardiovascular health. Also, drinking wine shows a low risk of cognitive decline. And number three, one of the third benefits of drinking wine is wine helps protects the lining of the blood vessel. That's right. So those are the three benefits of wine, and that is tonight's flavor. How y'all doing today, man? It's starting to warm up a little bit here in my city. You know what I mean? 20 degrees, if that's what you want to call warm. I know. Hey, look, I was born and raised here, man, and I'm still not used to it. I never wanted to go ice skating. I never wanted to go sledding. I didn't care for throwing snowballs. And the funny thing about that is that I can remember as a young dude, man, I was coming outside from kindergarten, coming out the back door for recess. You know what I mean? And got hit in the face with a snowball. And ever since that particular time, I never liked the snow. You know, I don't like the black ice. I don't like walking with the snow up to your kneecaps. You know, that happened on a Halloween night one time in Minnesota. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe we'll do a show later on in the future. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, that's just what it is, man. It's warm. It's starting to warm up, y'all. All right, so listen, man, we're ready to start this show, man. We talking about the Ring 6 is what it's titled as. And you got some great fights lined up for tonight. You know, first I want to give a shout out to Ryder Season and also to the Sheik for taking over boxing, man, and saving boxing, because boxing at one point was starting to decline. I mean, HBO got rid of boxing, Showtime got rid of boxing, ESPN barely wants to touch it, but you know, if you bring them a great product, ESPN will continue to push boxing. I know that they push some of the earlier fights on the undercard, you know, but I didn't want to see the decline in boxing. So I am definitely happy, fortunate as a fan, and I definitely salute the Sheik for, you know, saving boxing, man. And I know if you are looking for the fight tonight, make sure you turn to DAZN. It's on the DAZN channel. It's also on the pay-per-view or event channels, I should say. If you got a lot of channels, you can find the fights. So let's go ahead and talk about this undercard. The first fight of the night was by Zaid Amaluf, and he's a boxer that comes from over there where the Sheik and them are at. Excuse me. And I want to say they're over in don't get me wrong. Don't get me to twisting it up. But they over in hey, just put it like this, man. They over in Africa. You know what I'm saying? One of the countries over there, man. And I'm just having a brain fart, so I can't even tell you where they're actually from or where this boxer is from. But he comes into the fight with a 7-0, 7 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 1 knockout. And he was fighting this guy by the name of Kevin Castillo. So I checked him out yesterday, man. I was checking out the weigh-ins. Kevin Castillo was a short dude, man. And he comes in with a 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and 2 KOs. Well, tonight, he gets dropped in the first round. That's right. Kevin Castillo gets dropped in the first round, but he gets up and wins a unanimous decision fight over Zaid Amaluf. And, you know, the judges scored it 78-73, 77-74, 77-74. So that was the first fight of the night tonight on what is titled as the Ring 6 boxing matches for tonight. And I do apologize for not knowing exactly where, you know, the Sheik and them are from. I can see it in my mind, man. I just can't think of the word. But if you want to help me along, as we always do here at Coffee Talk Podcast, go ahead and put that in the comments and let us know where the Sheik is from who promotes the fights. You know what I mean? We'd definitely love to hear that. You know what I'm saying? The second fight is interesting because there's a dude with 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 knockouts by the name of Carlos Adames. And he's supposed to fight this guy that just finished up fighting not too long ago here, Austin Ammo Williams, who was 19-1 with 13 KOs. And what's interesting about that, and maybe this is a learning experience on how not to give up, on how to adapt to adversity. But Carlos Adames had to pull out the fight. That's right. So Austin Ammo Williams had to take a fight with the unknown. And the unknown you got to give props to, because the unknown decided to take this fight on fight night. He's going to make about $50,000. But he took this fight on short notice, only like 12 days before the fight. Or was that 12 hours before the fight is what's being reported. So, you know, Austin Ammo, I don't even know who won that fight. Of course I don't, because I'm on the show with y'all right now. But that leans into one of my questions tonight. And that is, as a boxer professionally, I wonder how hard that could be. I'm not a professional boxer, but I'm asking people that are professional boxers how hard that could be to take on a new opponent after you done did a lot of training for the guy you thought you was going to fight. You know what I mean? I done seen in my years, man, I done seen dudes take fights on 2 weeks notice, come in there and be victorious, you know, and I done seen guys, you know, take short notice fights and get knocked out. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? So it's very intriguing to me from a psychological standpoint, is how do you keep yourself motivated for that? You know what I mean? Getting a different opponent at the last minute. You know, if you have the answers to that, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are here at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so the next fight, which will be the third fight of the night, and I'm sure that's probably getting ready to get on right now, is a guy by the name of Bruce Carrington. Bruce Shoo Carrington, who is undefeated, 12-0, 7 knockouts. He's fighting a guy by the name of Carlos Castro, who's had a lot of fights, man. He had 33 fights in his career, 30 wins, 3 losses, 14 KOs for a featherweight fight. I don't know if there's a title on the line or not. You know, I didn't do my homework on that part. And besides, it says undercard here on our transcript. But speaking of Bruce Carrington, Shoo Carrington, man, that's one of my other questions. And that is, how do y'all like that name, man? You know, every boxer has a nice name. You know what I mean? Money Mayweather, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, all these different names, you know. And I thought Shoo has a cool name, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, tonight, again, he is fighting Carlos Castro. And so since we're speaking of Shoo's name, that leads me into one of our questions here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Our question is this: who has the coolest name of the night amongst all the boxers? Bruce Shoo Carrington, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, Teofimo Lopez the Takeover, or Shakur Stevenson? I heard that Shakur usually don't even like to use a nickname, but his boxing name is Shakur, but he doesn't really like to use it. He likes it to be Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? But with that being said, that's one of our questions tonight. To my viewers, my followers, go ahead and let us know in the comments who you think has the coolest name of those 4 boxers. Again, it's Bruce Shoo Carrington, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, Teofimo the Takeover Lopez, and Shakur Sugar Stevenson. Go ahead and leave those in the comments, man. Let me know what you thought on who has the coolest boxing name of tonight. This is the Pre-Fights Coffee Talk Podcast Sports. All right. So after Bruce Carrington and Carlos Castro's fight, then you're going to get Jarrell you're going to get into the heavyweights. And the heavyweight matchup for the night is Jarrell Big Baby Miller with 26 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 22 KOs. I want to make sure that I'm done with this so I can get back to the living room and watch the fights. And he's going to be fighting a guy that I think got a cool name also. You can also throw his name into who has the coolest names. But his opponent is a guy by the name of Kinsley Ibe. Kinsley Ibe. Something about saying it that way. Kinsley Ibe. Doesn't that sound cool? Well, anyway, Kinsley Ibe, man, has 16 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 14 KOs, man. But hey, like I said, I was checking out the weigh-ins yesterday, man. And you know, Big Baby solid, man. He's solid, you know. He ain't fought in over years, you know, so he got the rust. He looked rusty a little bit. Not like Ashy Larry, but he looks rusty. But this dude here, man, this dude Kinsley Ibe. He's a tall, long dude, man, with long range, man. You know what I mean? I didn't check out the measurements of each boxer's reach, but man, hey, if I had to make a quick pick between Jarrell Miller and Kinsley Ibe, I'm gonna take Kinsley Ibe tonight. So y'all let me know what time it is after y'all watch the fight, man. Y'all jump into these comments, cap on me if you need to, because I chose Kinsley Ibe over Big Baby Miller out of Brooklyn. And then following the heavyweight fights, man, now we get into the main event fights, the fights that we don't want to miss. You know what I mean? Tonight on the co-main event, we have KEYSHAWN Davis. Y'all know KEYSHAWN. KEYSHAWN won a belt, man. I don't know which belt it was, the WBO or the WBC, super lightweight. But the brother had missed weight on his last fight, man, so he had to give the belt up. And he's returning since that. He's also returning since that horrible scene of him and his brothers trying to fight a boxer, man. I mean, that could have went real left, man. Could have damaged your whole career, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he did that ignorant shit, man. It was real ignorant. But I'll tell you this, as a professional boxer, man, you want to make sure that you are a professional at all times, man, because one, you can get killed in the boxing ring. 2, you're not just doing this for laughter. You know what I'm saying? You're doing this to feed yourself and your family. So always remember what you got into it for and why you take the risk. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, KEYSHAWN Davis, 13 wins, 0 losses, 9 KOs, fighting. It looks very tough. I've seen this guy fight Teofimo Lopez in the last fight Teofimo fought. This guy's name is JERMAINE ORTIZ. He has 20 wins, 2 losses, 1 to Teofimo Lopez. But he got 20 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 10 KOs. It's going to be an exciting fight between KEYSHAWN Davis and JERMAINE ORTIZ. Let me know in the comments who y'all think is going to win that fight. You know what I mean? And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of this wine right here. Yeah. As you can tell, man, I'm very excited about boxing, man. I just love this sport. I've always loved this sport as a kid. I've watched hundreds and hundreds of fights, man, growing up. I like to call myself a boxing historian, man. You know what I'm talking about? I really like boxing. What do you feel about boxing? I know boxing has been exciting these last 6, 7 years, but you still have people that are stuck in the Tyson years. And Tyson used to take opponents out, you know what I mean, in 40 seconds, and people was paying $70, $80, $90 to watch that fight and would be pissed because Tyson would knock people out so quick that it kind of turned people off from boxing. But I'll tell you what, man, this new era of boxers, you know, they're starting to fight each other. And one of those reasons is because of the Sheik taking over boxing and paying these brothers, you know what I'm saying? And making the best fighters fight the best, man. So, but tell me who your favorite fighters are of the past as well as today. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Now, the main event for tonight at Madison Square Garden for the WBO Super Lightweight title and the Ring Magazine title. This is at 140 pounds. Teofimo Lopez, who is a champion at 140, has the Ring Magazine belt. Comes in here with 22 wins, 1 loss, 13 KOs. He's fighting SHAKUR Stevenson. Yeah, that's SHAKUR Stevenson. The guys that Mason, the Killer Cam was talking about, saying it was boring. You know, I don't know. I like SHAKUR Stevenson in the pocket, his last fight, and showing people what he's really about. And, you know, may that continue tonight. You know, I mean, you got to stick and move. You got to stick and move. But make sure that it's not a boring fight is all I would say. But, yeah, Teofimo Lopez is fighting tonight against SHAKUR Stevens, who brings in a record of 24-0, 24 wins, 0 losses, 11 knockouts. Some of the fun facts on SHAKUR Stevens is that he got brittle hands. I didn't see that in the last fight, but he has even acknowledged that, you know, his hands are tender. He's slated as one of the best defensive fighters of the young era of these young kings fighting. And but he's undefeated. And, you know, I don't know if he's the boogeyman of the 135, 140 pounds, but I know that a lot of people, excuse me one moment, a lot of people, he hasn't been able to get in the ring with him. So, you know, you tell me, do y'all think SHAKUR Stevenson is legit? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Or you know, does he lose tonight? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Again, this is Teofimo Lopez versus SHAKUR Stevens tonight for the Ring Magazine and WBO Super Lightweight title. You know what I'm talking about. So with that said, man, we're going to get ready to get out of here. This was the pre-fight. I wanted to come in and talk to y'all about it. Pick your brain. Let me know who y'all think is going to win the next 3 fights. Leave those in the comments. And also, don't forget, let us know who has the coolest boxing name of the night. And I'll make sure we give you a shout out on the next sports show here at Coffee Talk Podcast Sports. So until next time, I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with the peace sign and tell y'all, man, hey, stay sucker free, live dangerously, and make sure that you're righteous at all times. That's it. That's that. And that's where we at. Coffee Talk Podcast. Coffee Talk Podcast Sports.